Hey, welcome back. My name is Gianna, talking to you about all things Nashville. I'm a local real estate agent here, and I love this city, and I can't wait to share all things Nashville with you. So today we're going to be talking about Hip Donelson, one of the up-and-coming neighborhoods near the Nashville airport in Nashville, Tennessee. So personally, I lived in Donelson for over 2 years, and here are some of my personal pros and cons before we dive into facts. So some of my pros are there are some wonderful restaurants in the area and easy access to a ton of grocery stores and convenient shopping. Like pharmacies, Target, Kroger, you name it, Donelson has it to offer. I will also say that Donelson is an area that I lived in and it feels safe, right? Just a lot of tight-knit community, great neighborhoods. I didn't see a lot of crime there. The crime that was the most common is like people breaking into cars, which sucks, but you know, not life-threatening. Another perk of it, for somebody that likes to travel, visiting family for the holidays, so close to the airport, like within 10 minutes most of the time, which makes it easy to travel, book Ubers there, cheaper to book Ubers home. There's a lot of perks living close to the airport. Now, there are plenty of gas stations, post office is right over there in Donelson. The convenience is hard to compete with. Not to mention, for those who like being outdoors with dogs or kiddos, you also have the close proximity to Percy Priest Lake. And let me tell you, there's a bridge over the dam. It's beautiful. There's lots of areas to hike, run, take your dog, swim. So just do some research and enjoy the great outdoors in Donelson. Now, some cons of Donelson, I will say, is the traffic to downtown is pretty miserable. It gets pretty congested where the exits break off to either go to Franklin or downtown. And it's far from downtown. You know, doing your research, it's gonna say, oh, you know, it's 10 to 15 minutes downtown. When you include all of that traffic, it's about 20 to 30 minutes most days. And I will say, although it didn't bother me, it does bother many that there's a lot of air traffic, right? You can hear a lot of airplanes zooming overhead, especially when the weather's rough. You can't really tell the difference between thunder and airplanes sometimes, which again is not a big deal, but some people just prefer to not deal with that. So Donelson, or otherwise known as Hip Donelson, is an area that is just on the ride. It's green, quiet, close access to the lake. So where is Donelson, you're asking? It's about 10 to 15 minutes east of downtown Nashville. Once again, coming from a local, I promise you the commute is not always going to be that quick, if ever. Again, located right near the airport and within about 5 miles of the Opryland Resort and the mall. If you're not into the hustle and bustle of the big city life, but still like convenient access to a lot of, you know, either fun or entertainment or shopping, Donelson is going to be the place for you. The neighborhood was originated in 1929, and then fast forward from the 1970s to now, the neighborhood has seen some great expansion. I will say when you're researching Donelson, you're going to find a lot of articles that say these shopping centers are walkable, and I have to argue that. Right? Just a matter of an opinion, but I'm going to tell you why. Sure, these shopping centers are located very close. You know, I lived less than a mile from Food Lion and Subway and liquor stores and the lake. I mean, great location to drive. Now, I will say there are not a lot of sidewalks on some very busy roads. So for safety, I do recommend passing on the walk to the grocery store and go ahead and getting in the car. Plus, who wants to carry their groceries all that way back anyway? No one. Another thing about this area is you're going to find a lot of locals and seasoned residents from Nashville. Some attractions you'll find in Donelson include the Opry Mills Mall, which has a Dave & Buster's, restaurants, and over 200 shops and a movie theater. Not to mention they've got the Opryland Resort, the Grand Ole Opry right over there, which I went into some great history about in this video, so make sure to check that out. Now, Donelson has a ton of history. I used to pass by the National Register of Historic Places Two Rivers Mansion almost every day on the way to work. This mansion was built in 1859, and let me tell you, it adds so much charm to the neighborhood. Although I've never been, it does offer several miles of paved trails. Now, these paved trails are important because they are great for avoiding ticks. Also, there's a disc golf course and a playground within close proximity to the Stone Rivers Greenway. Donelson also offers this fantastic farmers market. It's going to run from May through about October. And these farmers markets are going to be great for getting introduced to locals, local restaurants, gyms, shops, artists, and more. Now, I will say the market is a little tough in Donelson because it is such a popular area, so rapidly growing. I put several offers in on houses for myself over there when I was in the home buying process, and it's a tough one. You really have to have a competitive offer in that area. On the bright side, this means you're going to gain quite a bit of value on your home, so that's what it's all about, is building that equity, right? And the average housing price goes for about $450,000. Donelson is also home to Music City Star Station, a great way to commute to work and outer suburbs of the Nashville area that I talked about in this video here. But basically, it's a train to help you commute. Donelson is also home to an elementary school, middle school, and high school. Donelson also offers a magnet school, so great options to check out when it comes to your kiddos and their education. Now, let's talk local eats in Donelson, because living there for 2 years, I've found some really good spots. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is Fat Bites. It's a funky place. Imagine like venues that you've seen on Guitar Hero or rock movies, mashed with like a hippie cafe kind of vibe. I know, interesting. A vibe that you have to check out for yourself. But they have killer brunch, live music, and it's not music you're going to find anywhere in Nashville. It's very hipster sometimes, it's in different languages. I mean, I'm always very entertained when checking out the live music entertainment at Fat Bites. Folky, funky, and different. Now, they are open for dinner and lunch, and they've got a full bar and bottomless mimosas. And moving on to one of the next popular spots between myself and some friends I've met in the neighborhood is Party Foul. You're gonna find a few Party Fouls around Nashville, so I'm not gonna say too much, but I will say, if you're living in Donelson, Party Foul is right around the corner, no matter what neighborhood you're in, which means you're just minutes away from some fantastic fried chicken and all the bushwhackers you could dream of. Next, we could talk about Nectar Urban Cantina. Such good Mexican food, fantastic cocktails. You have got to check this place out. The entire back area is like lawns and lights and seating for people. There's a stage for the occasional live music, playgrounds for the kiddos. Now, don't get too excited. I mean, they have like a jungle gym, and then they've got cornhole and that ring game where you throw it on the hook, but don't expect a full-blown playground, but there is enough to keep the kids entertained while the adults have a few cocktails, conversations, you name it. It's a great place to be. Not to mention, if you're looking to support local businesses, Nectar Urban Cantina is one of them, and maybe you're not in the mood for Mexican food on your way to work in the morning, they do have a coffee and smoothie shop that is really good. My recommendation, white chocolate mocha with lavender iced. Now, another fun local coffee shop in the area is Caliber Coffee. It is owned by the Schwartz family with good coffee, good people, and good vibes. They also have a shot of grace board, right? So you can buy a cup of coffee for somebody that comes in at a different time. Maybe they're in need, maybe they're homeless and it's cold outside, they just need a cup of coffee. So I love to support local businesses that give back to the local community, so Caliber Coffee is definitely one to check out. Now, Donelson does offer a lot more restaurants, cafes, donut shops, you name it. There are many places worth checking out while you're a resident in Donelson, but I'll end it on this note with the Sunflower Cafe. By far one of my favorites and most unique spots in all of Nashville, let alone Donelson. This place offers the most extensive plant-based menu in all of the city. They have a biscuits and gravy tray, I mean fake sausage, fake bacon, and it tastes so good. They've got smoothies and decadent desserts. I mean, everything looks so tempting there, and it's all plant-based. I'm not gonna say it's all healthy. I mean, they've still got sugar in it, right? But you can feel a little better about yourself knowing that it comes from a good resource. You're not gonna believe how good this place and the recipes are until you try it out yourself, so I definitely encourage you to give Sunflower Cafe a visit. Donelson is a great place for family, or not if you're flying solo. I loved the area, and I'm likely to move back to Donelson within the next couple of years when I get sick of the inner city life. But of course, depending on your taste and style, sometimes living closer to downtown is right for you. Spend the day in the Donelson area, check out some of the local restaurants, spend your day at Percy Priest, let me know your thoughts, and we can go check out Donelson, find you the perfect home out there. My name is Gianna Norton, local realtor in Nashville, Tennessee. You can visit my website here, give me a call, and I can't wait to explore the next neighborhood with you.